Do not click out of this video. Minecraft Hardcore is the most difficult game mode in Minecraft. In this video, I'm going to attempt to survive 100 days in Hardcore Minecraft. Unlike every other single YouTuber, I'm not going to set a list of challenges for the video, but there's a surprise waiting at the end of the video, so make sure to watch the video the whole way through. Like many of you out there, I'm a small YouTuber. I've currently just hit 100 subscribers and I would love if you would subscribe. It's free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want to. Now with all the boring stuff out of the way, let's get into the video. Day 1 started out like any other Minecraft world, spawning into a brand new place full of endless possibilities. I jumped onto a tree to get a glimpse of what the landscape looked like. I turned around, to my surprise, I'd already found a village. I quickly took a gay horse's favourite word to say. I also had a look around to see what actually was in the village. Villagers had a 2-week quarantine, so I had to be careful. I took their food and put them back into quarantine because I didn't want them to spread any virus. I then got set on fire by a zombie and the video nearly ended before it already started. And still somehow got the Monster Hunter achievement for beating him with a piece of wheat. I took more hay and like most other famous YouTubers, I made a lot of bread. I finally started to play the game actually properly and I decided to make some wooden tools. Then quickly I made some more stone tools. And after that I took a villager from his bed and ended my first day. I woke up on day 2 full of energy after a good night's rest. I stole a villager's bed and then his family's livelihood. I had my first encounter with a creeper. I finally decided to chop down some trees and get some wood. I spent a good part of the day cutting down trees. I made a dirt hole for some pigs that I was going to breed. I also did some terraforming, and by god does this take long when you don't have efficiency on your shovel. At the end of the long day, I placed my bed and went to sleep for my second night. I continued to dig a quick cow farm on day 3 under the ground, as litter and beef will come in handy later on when I go to make some bookshelves. I did a small bit of terraforming, as in Minecraft half the things you need to do is terraforming and mining. I was quickly running out of inventory space, so I decided to put down a few chests and declutter my inventory. I then made some oak fences to separate the cows and pigs and gave a nicer aesthetic to my base. I wasn't happy with the spacing between the two, so I moved them further apart. I finished off my farms by adding a wooding border and made them look some bit more respectful. I finished the day by smelting some charcoal in my new furnaces. I realised it was a complete waste of time making charcoal on the first day. As the start of day 4 when I went mining I found a large vein of coal. I also found some iron which would come in handy for upgrading my tools and making some armour in the future. I realised I'd nowhere yet to call home, so I dug into the side of a wall and made a safe space for myself. I added a wooden door for an extra layer of security. I then found some lonely sheep and invited them into my cow farm. Wool will come in handy in later episodes when I tried to find some bed or make some carpets. I upgraded my pickaxe to an iron one and also made an iron chestplate and iron Yeezys. An iron pickaxe is such a better upgrade than having a stone pickaxe, so I don't have to worry about my pickaxe breaking every 2 seconds. I got rid of my old Ugg boots because they didn't get much protection. I found another cave and realised I wasn't equipped for it yet, so I ran away until I met a skeleton and broke my axe. I used my 100,000 IQ play to finish him off with my pickaxe. Day 5 was a fairly boring day, which mainly consisted of digging downwards to create a strip mine, and also I fought off some mobs. I was starting to realise that I need to upgrade my tools and armour as soon as possible in order to survive this 100 days. So I needed to find and try and get him diamond. So I started a strip mine on Y11 and I found this to be the best level to find diamonds. Some of you might say Y11 isn't the best to be finding diamonds, but over the years I found it's the easiest, as you find loads of lava caves and also you can dig upwards and downwards a few more blocks. I was rudely awoken on day 6 by a skeleton shooting at me in my bed and I was set on fire for a second time. I feel like a small bit of iron armour I had saved me from dying. This near death experience shook me a little and from here on I decided to play a lot more cautiously. I finally placed my bed and my new hermit hole and I used whatever coal I had to make torches and light up the area around me. I finally completed my full set of iron armour and crafted a shield. I was definitely now more prepared to fight any mob that was sent in my path. I made 3 more iron pickaxes and spent the next 3 days on the search for diamonds. At first I wasn't very lucky on my search, but I found lots of other ores such as gold and redstone. After searching a small cave I decided to loot some and I came across my first vein of diamonds. I was excited. I cautiously mined all the blocks around the diamonds, placed a bucket of water for safety and mined 7 diamonds in total. I was actually so happy because at this stage I had enough diamonds to be able to make a diamond pickaxe and to make an enchanting table. I then went to the tedious task of mining obsidian. This takes so long with efficiency you would take it for granted. I continued mining and found lots of ores, including more redstone, some lapis, and came across another few veins of diamonds. This was definitely the most successful mining trip we've had so far. I rose to the surface to find it was daylight and placed my nether portal. I quickly made a flint and steel and lit the port, but I didn't enter as I had no gold armour and was not prepared. I found some more moo-moos and sheep and trapped them in my little farm. The farm is already becoming overpopulated, so I decided soon enough I'd have to expand. I used what little wheat I had to breed the animals, but then realised I'd need to make a lot more, so I broke lots of grass and tried to get enough for it. I knew that I would need a lot of books for enchanting, so I placed some sugarcane on the coast near my base. I finished the day off by doing some terraforming in the sunset, and I slept in my bed for the first time in 3 nights. I started off day 9 by doing one of the most basic things in Minecraft by creating an infinite water source. I decided to create a basic wheat farm so I could feed my cows and sheep. I used some of the cobble I gathered from strip mining in order to build some cobble walls. The walls are very handy as they don't allow mobs to jump over them so they can't trample my crops. I added some more torches for extra lighting. I marked out where I wanted to place the water sources. This may not have been the most efficient, but at least it worked. I then crafted an iron hole for the rest of the day. I tilled the land. On day 1 it was kind of one of them boring days where nothing really happened. I started off by planting my seed. I had over a stack at this stage, but I wasn't able to fill the whole area where I put the cobblestone fences. I then went on a trip to the nearby village to do a bit more looting. I found 2 more cows and I had them trapped in the houses, and I brought them back to my base. I bred all of my animals again, and then I finished the day off by going over to my sugarcane farm and breaking and replacing them all. I spent most of the days 11 and 12 collecting logs. I decided it was time for me to build my first proper home, as my hole wasn't doing much for me. I gathered loads of oak and loads of birch log. I also crafted the shears using iron, and I collected lots of leaves. I also found some spruce trees and I cut them down as well. I got more wood in 2 days than most girls that got in lockdown in 2020. I also went to the local swamp and gathered some lily pads. I would use these to help improve my wheat farm. Using the leaves I gathered, I decided to build straight upwards and have a look at the landscape where I was going to build my house. I decided I was going to build my house on the little hill above where I built my farms, as it looked like a nice location. Day 13 was the beginning of the house build. I started by terraforming and flattening a hill above my farm. I built a frame for the house using spruce logs and filled in with oak logs. This colour combination looked really nice together. I wanted to build a house that was very aesthetically pleasing and also had good function. I decided I would build a 3-story house with 2 balconies on each side. I spent most of the time on because I felt this is the best feature of the house, and any nice roof would make a house look good. I used leaves as scaffolding blocks, which was very annoying and would need to find bamboo to make scaffolding blocks later in the future. I took a quick break on day 40 for building to breed my animals and also to extend my forever growing sugarcane farm. My goal was to fill all the surrounding areas with sugarcane around my base. I feel like this would look very good. I worked into the night, and most of the day I spent building the roof. I quickly ran out of wood and had to go back to the forest to collect some more. The house is finally coming together, and I was very proud of what I built so far. I knew I would need a lot of glass for my build, so I decided to go to the local beach and get some sand. I turned the sand into glass panes, and I was surprised how the building was turning out so far. This is my first time building in the game in quite a long time, as I haven't played in a couple of years. I placed the leaves under 2 of the balconies and made them look like bushes. The house was nice, but I felt like it needed a bit more decoration. I decided to make a flower bed at the back of the house below the window. I used dirt and surrounded with oak and spruce trapdoors. The house was quite small, so I used ladders instead of stairs to get from floor to floor. I placed my bed and ended the day watching the sunset through the window of my brand new home. I spent the majority of day 17 dedicated to farming. I finally made a diamond shovel, as the iron shovels kept breaking and I needed a more heavy duty one. I used this to do a bit of terraforming. I fed my cows and sheep. I harvested my wheat farm for the first time and got a few stacks of wheat. I nearly had enough seeds at this stage to fill the whole farm. I harvested my sugarcane as it was multiplying very quickly. I finally grew a pair of balls and entered the nether. My spawn was pretty terrible. I spawned in the roof and there was no way getting down to the surface, so I quickly decided to go back to the overworld. I continued placing walls in my safe area and needed to be extended as we were going to survive the 100 days. I used my new diamond shovel to continue terraforming, and I finally had a safe area in which I could roam without the worry of a random creeper ending my life. The number of cows and sheep was quickly getting out of hand, so on day 18 I decided to slaughter half the population. I gathered all the wool, leather, and I cooked up the beef I got from the animals. There wasn't really much more I did on 18 other than kill the animals. I woke up on day 19 and realised that my base was finally starting to come together. I then collected my sugarcane again and began to get to work on my enchanting station. I crafted up 9 books and put down the foundations. I placed the torch under the enchantment table as it was a transparent block, and this was handy for hidden lighting. I knew I had to get to level 30 if I wanted a chance to get good enchantment, so I went back to the mines to strip mine. I started a new branch and dug in a straight line. I found lots more materials. I found lots of coal, lots of iron, and lots more redstone. The diamond pickaxe was very useful as I didn't need to get a new iron pickaxe every 5 minutes. I started building up quite a collection of coal and redstone at this stage. While mining, I found some hot magma blocks. These would come in handy later for making farms. It ended up being a very successful mining trip. I finally got to level 30. You're probably sick of hearing it at this stage, but I harvested my sugarcane farm for the last time in a while. On day 21 I finished my bookshelves. I needed to get my enchantment. I crafted a new diamond pickaxe and did my first enchantment. I was hoping either to get silk touch or to get looting, but to my disappointment I only got breaking 3. I made a quick chicken and egg farm. I would use this farm to make arrows and also to get food from the chicken. It was an easy enough farm. All it was in the corner was 4 bits of water, and in the bottom there was a sign. The chicken would float on the sign and then all the eggs would flow through the bottom. When I got enough hoppers, I'd obviously make this an automatic farm so I wouldn't have to go over and place the eggs every time. I needed a second chicken to bring back to my farm for it to work, so on day 22 I went on the look for them and brought 3 of them back to my base. They weren't very cooperative, so I had to give each of them a backhand into their new home where they would swim forever. I then went back down to the mines again and I did a bit of strip mining. I really should have done one big massive mine instead of going down every 2 days or so to find minerals and materials, but this mining trip was way more successful than the previous ones. On this one I found 3 or 4 veins of diamonds, but I didn't want to mine them until I had a fortune 3 pickaxe, where I could get over twice as much as a diamond. So I enchanted another pickaxe with the hope of fortune, and fortunately I did get fortune. I also got the added bonus of efficiency. The fortune pickaxe was a big game changer. I then went back down to the mines and collected all my treasure. I got over 25 diamonds this time instead of getting 11, which I would have got if I didn't have fortune 3. This is the most diamonds I've had so far in the first 100 days. All that happened on day 24 was I slaughtered my farmland. I then collected the eggs from my chicken farm. I also put some pink carpet on the floor of my bedroom to try and decorate it. Before I knew it, it was day 25. It had come around the corner quickly and I thought, and this is a quarter way through the challenge so far. So far it's been fun and challenging. I'd like to thank whoever is watching this, and for watching my video I would appreciate you and would appreciate if you would subscribe. I'm hoping for these videos to gain 1,000 subscribers, so that way I'll be eligible for monetization, so I'd really help any of your support. I started the day by making myself look richer than I actually was. I then spent most of the day terraforming. I feel like half of this challenge is just me terraforming and mining, but that's Minecraft. I then extended my cobblestone walls again. I did this in order to make sure my safe zone is even safer and I would have room for farms in the future. When the night time arrived, I tested my walls. I fought some zombies and they were no use. They weren't able to jump over my wall and I was easily able to slaughter them. To end the 25 days, I built up 50 blocks into the sky and had a look at the surrounding area. I feel like we've made a good bit of progress so far, even if we're only a quarter way into the challenge. I started off day 26. We had a visitor from Wandering Trader. I've always found these guys useless enough as they didn't give much decent trades, so I decided to slaughter him. I had also found a lot of horses close to my base, but I didn't have any saddle yet, so I couldn't be able to properly ride one, unless I went bareback, but I didn't want to risk having any more kids. I decided it was time to enchant another pickaxe. Silk Touch was the goal, but we didn't get it. But I did fortunately get a fairly decent enough pickaxe with efficiency 4 and unbreaking 3. This will come in handy as we go strip mining, and I will carry out a lot of it. For the 14th time in the series, I went back down to the mines to do some more strip mining. This is already starting to get very tedious, but I knew it would be worth it when I get some shiny blue rocks. I quickly came across some skeletons in a dark cave. Sorry for not lighting up the video, I'm still new to videos and I don't know if the lighting's alright. First skeleton introduced me to his friend who was cracked.
Got Fortnite, my guy.
I came across many more veins of resources and I came across a huge vein of diamonds. I quickly mined them up. My inventory was quickly filling up because of the new Fortune 3 pickaxe, so I placed a few chests in my mines to store them. I randomly dug into the side of the wall of one of my mining strips and yet I found another huge vein of diamond.
Diamond!
We were quickly getting rich in this challenge. I was sick of it taking so long to get up and down the strip mine. I also decided to place some stairs which I could run up and down faster on. I knew I needed to upgrade my shovel as I knew I'd be doing a lot of terraforming in the future. So on day 27 I decided to enchant a new diamond shovel. I was hoping to get a good trade this time and fortunately I got efficiency 4, which is exactly what I was looking for. My resource collection was slowly getting out of hand, so I decided to expand my chests. I knew that I'd have to make a storage system near in the future. I ended the day watching the sunset through the window of my bedroom. Although we 28 days played in the game so far, I haven't done any exploration, so on day 28 I ended out doing some. I crafted a compass and I decided to go and travel a few thousand blocks. Within 5 minutes I came across another village. This village was similar to the one I found in day 1, but it was a lot better looking. It was nice to know I had another access to a village in case I needed to do some trading in the future and I needed some villagers. I quickly looted the village and stole all their chests. I found my first emerald of many in the series. The village had quite a few chests and I found my first saddle also. I also come across some potatoes and carrots. I could use these to breed my pigs in the future and I was delighted when I found them. As everyone does, I stole all their hay blocks from the village. I also found a very fine looking stallion which I claim as my own. I fed him some apples and I decided to call him your mom because I'd be riding him every day. After a long day of riding your mom, I stole the villager's bed and ended my day. This is another reminder to let you know we are on the road to 100 subscribers, so if you don't mind, consider subscribing. Thanks. On day 29 I continued to ride your mom all day until we found a jungle biome. I found a lot of bamboo which I collected. Bamboo was very handy as it grows super fast and I can make a lot of scaffolding out of it. I also found some watermelon inside of a watermelon.
This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It's watermelon.
Watermelon is good for food, also is good for trading with villagers. I came across a small lake which had 2 turtles chilling around.
I like turtles.
Took a screenshot of the coordinates because I wanted to come back in the future. I eventually arrived back to my base, planted some carrots and potatoes, and as an Irishman I love my potatoes. I placed a stonecutter and smoker. I didn't even know these were in the game. I felt like my base was looking a bit dull, so on day 30 I decided to start doing some renovating. I used my newly enchanted shovel and I crafted some paths around my base. I feel like this one small difference made a huge change to my base. I then once again built 50 blocks into the sky and I had a quick peek at my new paths. They look really good so far. I placed some hay blocks for decoration also. I don't know why, but I really like these kind of blocks. I spent the rest of the day bone mealing the grass and planting flowers around my house. It was finally starting to look like a home. I also fought off some mobs to get to level 30. Here's a small little montage because I heard FaZe was recruiting. On day 31 I knew it was time to try and take the game a bit more seriously. If I wanted to complete this challenge I'd have to be prepared, so I decided it was time to make fully diamond armor. I used exactly 24 diamonds and crafted up a chest plate, pants, boots and a helmet. I felt like I was indestructible at this point, even though I still wear a face mask. I continued on with decorating my base and added a bit of texture to my new paths. I used some cobblestone and some stone brick. This made my base even look more epic. The contrast between the grass and the stone was well needed. I used a random pattern and just stuck to it. I placed some stone brick half slabs on the stairs leading up to my house. I wanted to test my new diamond armor, so I fought some mobs. I got hit by a skeleton and didn't even take a heart of damage. And I also got blown up by a creeper and I didn't even take half damage. I wanted to do a lot of building in this world and I knew I'd need stacks upon stacks of wood, so I decided to make a small tree farm. It was a really basic design. I just put dirt blocks on the floor and put saplings on top. It was very effective as I didn't have to travel far to get loads of wood. I was going to need leaves in the near future, so I decided to craft a pair of shears and harvest a few stacks of leaves. There's something just satisfying about using shears in Minecraft and insta-mining all the leaves. I still had no storage room at this point, so I decided to place a few more chests in my front garden. For the first time so far in the 100 days, I decided to feed my chicken. They've been floating on water for the last few days and I haven't got around them since day 10, so don't call animal welfare on.
Look at all those chickens.
End of the day, I planted all my bamboo I harvested and I made a small farm out of it. I was interrupted by some phantoms. I didn't even know these things were in the game, to be honest. Like, they're so annoying, so I quickly used my quick scoping skills to YY no scope one of them out of the sky. Phase, where you at? Collected the phantom membranes they dropped, which will be used as slow falling potions in the future when we go to fight the Ender Dragon. I also did a small bit of terraforming and used my bed for the first time in a few nights. I did a small bit of inventory sorting in the morning of day 35. I had separate chests for my natural items, wood, stone, dirt and other random box. There also was a chest for my valuables. I also extended the paths around my base and I decided to build another farm. This time I would build a melon farm just beside my wheat. A large supply of melons would be very handy for trading with villagers in the future. I had to do some terraforming and changing of the land, but it was worth it. I placed all the melons that I collected from the jungle biome. I would need a fortune axe in the future to get more melons from just a regular axe. I say it again, but I'm so happy with how my base is turning out on fire. A few small things added can really turn into from looking dull to pleasant. Finished the day, I went down to the village and fought off a horde of zombies. I got to level 30 once more. Day 36 is another one of those Minecraft days where not really much happened. I stole the bell from the villages and placed it outside my house. It was kind of random place for it, but I thought it kind of looked cool. I found your mom wandering around the tree farm, and by God does your mom love wood. I harvested my first watermelon from my farm. I relocated a few chests that were in the way of my footpath. I also moved my furnaces. I extended the footpath around my whole base, and for the 7th time I'll say it again, paths do make or break your base. Finally enchanted a diamond chestplate and got such a good enchant. I got on breaking tree and protecting tree, so I went to sleep for the hope they would despawn. On day 37 I did some more terraform. I took out half the cliff that was in the middle of my safe area. I also need to extend it because it's all free real estate.
It's free real estate.
I broke my nether portal as it was in a bad location. I hate mining obsidian, it's so slow. I then planted the remainder of my seeds for the watermelon farm and called it a day. I cleared out another large area on day 38 as I wanted to use this as an industrial district in the future. I wanted to have a large villager breeder and have lots of automatic farms, kind of like Mumbo Jumbo's farm on the Hermitcraft server. I placed my nether portal in a new location for the hope of a better spawn than the last time. I literally was 5 blocks away from my old portal. I then continued on and claimed more free real estate and surrounded it with cobblestone walls. It always feels good when you claim a new piece of land as your own, as it just brings it together. Sadly, I then broke my efficiency 4 shovel. I didn't think it would break this fast and I should have repaired it on an anvil. Finally lit up the new area I claimed, as no one wanted to guess would spawn there now. My safe zone was slowly becoming a safe city. I crafted my first ever diamond axe and another diamond shovel. I finished the day by working on the landscape and making it look as natural as I could. This continued into day 39. I again built up to the sky to see my base from a better perspective. I love looking at the comparison between each time as it feels like a load of progress has been made. I fed my cows for the first times in over a week. They nearly trampled me when I got into their pen, so I killed over half the population. I enchanted my shovel and got another decent enchantment on it. I got efficiency and fortune this time. Villagers from a few days ago had not despawned yet. They still were chilling outside the walls by my enchantment table. I think they had a little crush on me. Day 40 is the closest I've ever been to dying so far in this let's play. I went down to the mines and came across a cave. I was very confident because I had diamond armor and a diamond shield. Oh, I took on a lot of mobs. There was only 3 or 4 zombies at first, but then I lost control of the fight. I was backed into a corner. I panicked and tried to build upward, and all of a sudden there was 10 zombies and skeletons came out of nowhere and trapped me. I tried to hold up my shield, but they were hitting me harder than I could hit back. I eventually scrambled my way out to fight and got to cover. This is the closest I've been so far to dying this challenge, as I had only 2 or 3 hearts left. If I lost my world after putting this much effort into this stage, I had been heartbroken. I was physically shook from this and needed to get off the game for a bit and try and recover.
We will get you next time, Pops.
So after a day had passed in the real world, I was prepared to head back on. Hit down to the cave and did a bit of mining, and surprisingly found diamonds straight away again.
Diamond!
On day 41, I was determined to go into the nether. I destroyed my nether portal and travelled over 100 blocks in the real world to try and get a better spawn. I placed it down the top of a hill and I went through it, and it was even a worse spawn than I had before. I was on top of a lava lake. It was frightening because if a gas shot me I could have been fucked. No chance, and I went straight back to the overworld. On a brighter note, on day 42 I'd found my first wolves. I tamed them with some bones I got from skeletons. They were very easy to tame. I quickly bred them and brought them back to my base. I sat them down in front of my house and they'd be good guard dogs from the future. I then enchanted my diamond helmet and I got a fairly decent enchantment. I got protection on it, which would be unreal for explosions from creepers or any other mobs. I then found an abandoned ship frozen to the side of an ice cliff. I looted it, found some cards, and I found some nether armor. The armor wasn't very helpful, so I left it there. I found a small island and placed my nether portal again, hoping I would get a better spawn location. It was the 3rd time lucky, and I spawned in a black stone biome. At least I think that's what it's called. If you know what it's called, leave a comment below. I mined lots of gold and quartz. The looting tree pickaxe was very OP, and I got stacks upon stacks of gold and quartz. I then came across a structure of bone blocks, and it looked like it said ID. I feel like I was going into a nightclub once again. I used the gold I collected, and I started trading with some hoglins. I got quite a bit of loot from it. I spent a good time of the day doing this, and then I killed some magma cubes, as their drops to come in handy for more potions. I surrounded my portal and made it into a small little base. I again used my quickscope skills on day 44 to fight off a ghast. He was no match for me. I collected loads of blown blocks, as I thought I would get a lot of bone meal from these. I then again trapped another hoglin in a hole, and I spent the rest of the day trading. I was quickly running out of inventory space, so I decided to leave the nether and head back home. On the way home, I found an ocean monument. You'll have to stay tuned for the future episodes if you want to see me take on this. I also found my first abandoned nether port, and I also found a second ocean monument. This could actually come in handy if I wanted to make like a double spawner or something in the future. I arrived home on day 45 and I bred my dog straight away. This was starting to create a massive wool pack. After my long boat trip, I also decided I need to build a dock to store my boats, so I built one just at the coast near my base. I used spruce blocks for the beams to support it, and I filled in the floor with oak slabs. It was a very simple but very nicely aesthetic design. It was a kind of pattern that matched my house. I finished it off by lighting the area up and adding some oak fences. On day 46, I spent the majority of the day placing stone walls and expanding my base. The perimeter was getting very big at this stage. My enchantment station finally got in the way, so on day 47 I decided to move it. I was building another path in this direction as I wanted to expand my base off this way. I spent the majority of the day terraforming and making the landscape look good. I worked into the night and protected my base and killed a lot of creepers and zombies.
Pops, you're too good at Minecraft. I think everyone should like and subscribe.
This continued into day 48 and I was nearly ended by a creeper hiding below the dirt, but I quickly took care of him and his friend. I'd like to thank everyone who subscribed from the first video. At the time of recording this, I have 20 subscribers and I had over 250 views, so this is actually very good for my first video. So I'd love from this video if we could reach 50 subscribers, and if we could get a like goal of 50 likes, that would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. My goal is to try and reach 10k subscribers by the end of 2021, so I feel like if we keep up with the videos this could really easily happen. I finally decided to craft an anvil and I repaired my diamond shovel. I worked well into the night giving my land a bit of drip and decorating. It actually really worked out. Just like on the first part of the series, on day 50 I decided to build 50 blocks up into the air and see what we had accomplished. The base was looking really good so far and I was very proud of what we'd built. At this stage I couldn't wait to see what the base would look like at day 100. My wolf pack was finally getting out of hand and I couldn't leave them outside the house for any longer. So on days 50 and 51 I decided to start building a large doghouse for all my wolves.
Thank you, Pop. You're the best YouTuber ever.
I tried to go for a more modern look with a lot of windows and I raised it a couple of blocks off the ground. It was so big and there was nearly room for 1,000 dogs, I'd say. I feel it was really nice and fit in with everything else. The base was forever expanding, so I had to do some more terraforming to make some more space. At the sunset I began to harvest my bamboo. The bamboo grows so fast I was collecting more than I could handle. My iron hoe broke, so I decided it was time to upgrade. I decided to make a diamond hoe. Another wandering trader decided to show up and try and send me some dodgy biscuits, but I didn't want any, so I killed him. I tried to keep his alpacas, so I brought them into my field of horses, but sadly they despawned in the future. That's what they get for spitting at me. I started off day 52 and made an infinite water source. I would need it as I would build yet another farm. This time I decided to build a pumpkin farm. It was a similar enough design compared to my melon farm. I only had a few seeds, so I'd have to get more in the future. When it was finished I placed a path in the middle. This side of my base was looking bare, so I decided to put a few oak trees around to help decorate it. I spent the rest of the day fixing my new path I had created. I went with the same look as I did previously. While making this I came across some pillagers stuck on the ground beneath the floor.
Help me! Help me!
I decided to leave him there. I didn't have any time for him, so I just left. Like my dad. Day 53 was another slow day. Not much really happened. I used some spectral arrows I found in the nether to try and kill a creeper that was chilling near my dog kennel. I then placed a few flowers around the perimeter of my bed, and I bred some cows. I added some leaves near the doghouse and tried to make it look like a bit better. I bred my dogs once again. I decided to call them all Justin. I don't know why, but I really like the name Justin.
It's because I'm cracked at Fortnite.
I didn't want any more creepers to get into my base, so I walled off the new dog kennel with cobblestone walls. I'm also giving away a free copy of Minecraft, so if you'd like to get it, leave a like, comment, subscribe and turn on post notifications. I used some more of the leaves and oak fences I had to build some small trees near my dog kennel. They look really good. It was all the small things that I thought that brought the building to life. I harvested my pumpkins, turned it into seeds and I expanded the farm once again. For the first time in the series, I also collected all my melons from their farm. I used to craft some more melon blocks and I placed them all around my base. I boned the ground and spent the rest of the day doing boring Minecraft things, and I collected a lot of wood. My fists were bleeding from punching all the trees. Then two skeletons came out of nowhere and they tried to scare me, but I took care of them. The diamond armor I had was OP and there were no chance for me. The gathering of resources continued into day 56. There was creepers lurking all around the forest and kept appearing out of nowhere. The majority of the wood I gathered was spruce, but I also chopped down some birch trees and some oak trees. When I got back, I placed all my pumpkin seeds. I don't even know why I was making a pumpkin farm. They're kinda useless in the game. The only thing you can do with them is trade with villagers. I used the bone meal I collected from the skeletons and I decorated my base a bit more. I harvested my wheat time for the first time in 10 days. I feel like the fully grown wheat looks way better than the unharvested wheat, so I don't really harvest it that much. I also bred my cows again and I called it a night. On day 57 I wanted to do some enchantment, so I finally moved my enchantment table to the basement of my house. I didn't really plan on moving it here, but it actually fit perfectly. I decided to enchant the diamond shovel and got a crack shovel. It had efficiency 4 and unbreaking 3.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
To make it even more overpowered, I decided to use an anvil and put fortune onto it also. I repaired my diamond pickaxe as well. On day 57, I knew it was time to step it up a little and focus on progressing the game a bit more. I decided it was time to make a villager breeder. For this, I'd need a lot of glass. So I decided to go to the nearby beach and harvest every single bit of sand I could find. I nearly had a full inventory of sand by the time I was finished. The efficiency 4 shovel made it so satisfying. I then returned home, crafted some more furnaces, and I smelted all the sand I had into glass. We had way more than enough sand. So on days 58, I decided to start building my villager breeder. I started by building a dirt platform a few blocks into the air. I placed some carrots and potatoes on the dirt, and I surrounded it within a glass shell. I didn't really need to make it out of glass, but I felt like it looked way cooler. And it was also in the sky, it didn't really need to be in the sky. On day 59, I decided to carry out the hardest part of the build. This was transporting the villagers from the village into the farm. I crafted stacks upon stacks of rails. I feel like I had way more than I needed. I also crafted some power rails for pushing the villagers upwards. The trapping of the villagers I did in day 1 would finally become useful. I had 3 villagers trapped and I didn't have to go on a long journey and transport them through the nether like I would have had to. I built a small rail system going from the villager to my breeder. This took all day and we launched the first villager into the breeder. As we got into day 50, we finally managed to get the second villager. He was more stubborn than the first one. They both ended up being stacked on top of each other. I covered over the roof, so that way it made gave them the impression that they're inside, because the villagers can only breed if they're indoors. Finally finished the construction of the villager breeder, so I called it a day in the real world and also in the Minecraft world. When I had logged into Minecraft the next day, version 1.16.5 had arrived. I didn't really know what it updated, but it was nice to play it. If anyone knows what the update added, let me know in the comments. After building the villager breeder, I was kind of in the mood to build, so on day 51, I decided to start work on my stables for my horse. Your mom wasn't really happy sleeping outside, so we had to get her a place to stay indoors from the rain as she was getting too wet. I started out by making a cobblestone floor. I didn't really want to build a whole building out of wood again, so I used a fancier block this time. I decided to use quartz blocks. They were much nicer and they looked a lot better. I started off by building only 5 stables, but at the end of it, I had 8 of them. One of the horses wasn't being very cooperative, so I had to put him down.
I'ma love you, man. I'ma miss you.
To be even fancier, I decided to make the roof out of stone bricks. This complemented the quartz bricks very nicely. The build was finally coming together. I didn't really want any flying creepers to come jumping on me or my horses, so I decided to light the roof up with some torches. The horses weren't happy with the dirt floor, so I changed it up and finally found a use for all the granite blocks I had collected so far. Finally finished off the build by adding some hay blocks around the stables. This was really nice as it brought the building together. On day 64, I decided to go over to my villager breeder and check how it was working. The villagers were piling up the bottom of the water stream, so I decided to let them free and let them roam around my village.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
I felt like the number of them were slowly going to get out of hand. Next, I made a new path around my villager breeder and I did a small bit of terraforming to make the land a bit more flat. I was tired of manually smelting all my stone and sand in my furnaces, so I decided to expand my industrial zone and make an automatic smelter. It was a simple enough design which involved some hopper minecarts and a lot of hoppers. I had 12 furnaces in total, so I decided it would be very efficient and I could always expand it more in the future. I didn't have enough iron to make all the hoppers, so I decided I need to do a bit more strip mining. It had been a while since I'd done some strip mining, and also I got more luck again. Straight away as I went down I found diamonds.
Yo!
My diamond look in the series has been unreal so far. I also came across a couple of veins of gold, lapis, and I found lots of coal. I needed over a stack of iron in total, so I kept mining until I had it. I also came across another vein of diamonds. I was actually getting really close to level 30 also. I rose to the surface on day 66, and I found my villagers. They decided they want to be pigs. I didn't judge them, it's 2021 and I don't discriminate, so I let them be whatever they wanted to be. I finally finished my automatic smelter and gave it a test run. It was so fast and efficient. Now smelt stacks upon stacks of stone and also sand, and I won't even have to worry about doing it in the future. I realised in day 66 that the series will be coming to an end soon, so if you have any other video ideas, leave a comment. I reply to all my comments and leave a heart to them. I started day 67 by decorating my new industrial area. As you guessed it, I added my usual flooring again. I had so much smooth stone and bricks now from using my automatic smelter. I decided to do my paths by the stables also. If anyone wants a world download link for this world, let me know as I can put it in the description below. I finally finished my pumpkin farm and added the last seeds it needed. Here's a little run through so far of my base. It's honestly looking so good. Everything is connected and there's nowhere really mobs can spawn. To get a better perspective of what the world looked like so far, I decided to build 50 blocks into the sky for like the 4th time. I did this at night time and it looked a lot better than daytime. It was such a good idea. I feel like the most progress is made so far in these 25 days compared to the first 2. On day 68 I wanted to flex a little, so I decided to craft a few diamond blocks. I had so many diamonds at this stage, so it didn't really matter. I put a few of them at the front of my house. They looked a bit out of place, but I didn't really care as we had so much diamonds. I finally destroyed my old furnaces as there's no need for them anymore. I was feeling a bit cracked, so I decided to harvest all my wheat and my carrots, and I replanted them all. I collected more watermelons and called it a day in the real world. When I was exiting out of the game, I accidentally dragged my recording software to the bottom of the screen. So for the next 5 days in game, this is all that was recorded like. I didn't even realise until I had it done after. I was so annoyed. The most memorable day of the series also was included in this day, day 69. I have no footage of this day, so I'm just going to include a random video.
So you think you can just explode on all my mushrooms without being punished?
It was on day 73 I finally realised my recording was messed up. It was fixed, but I realised I'd missed out on a lot of footage. Within the last few days, I decided to build a large storeroom. Yeah, I know it took me 73 days to build a storage room, but don't judge me. It had over 100 chests. I built it out of oak logs and slabs. I made the roof out of stone bricks, and we had so much stone. I spent the rest of my day moving items from my old chest to my new storage system. This took most of the day. I needed to get some shulker boxes soon, as my inventory space was getting limited. To finish off the day, I built some more cobblestone walls. I decided to surround them around my storage area, as I didn't want any creepers coming in and blowing up my chests. I continued the organisation of my items into day 74. I had so many valuables, it was crazy. I also had no crafting bench, so I decided to put one in the floor of my storage room. It was so handy. Again, would like to thank all my new subscribers from the last video. We currently have 80 subscribers at the time recording it. This is unreal, like I've got 80 subscribers in the last 5 days. So we're on the road to 100 subscribers. I'm a new YouTuber and I put a lot of effort into these videos, so I'd appreciate if you could please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It's free and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. Population of villagers was slowly becoming crazy. There was over 100 of them roaming around my world. They were trying to steal all my diamond blocks and my resources. I asserted my dominance and got rid of half of the population. That'll show. God, please! I also moved my nether portal to a new location in a newly dug out nether room. I wanted to decorate the room kind of looking like the nether, so I decided to go in and take loads of blocks. Is it just me or does everyone love mining netherrack with their efficiency pickaxe? It's just so satisfying. Nether room was finally looking really good and started to come together. I found another rogue villager acting sus, so I decided to kill him. I was slowly starting to get annoyed with the amount of jobless villagers roaming around the place, so I pretended I was playing domination in Nuketown and I decided to start spawn trapping them. I placed some lava down and they had no chance now. I chased down a baby villager and I mean to say these little fellas are so quick.
Why are you running?
While chasing him down, I found 2 zombies just chilling in my egg farm. They weren't doing any harm to anyone, so I decided to just leave them there. I finally caught up with the baby villager and finished him off. I harvested my melons for the 15th time in the series for no reason whatsoever, and I did the same with my pumpkins. One of the zombies decided to die, and there was only one left now, so I quickly decided to 360 no-scope him. The rest of the night throwing eggs at some zombies for no reason whatsoever. The last 2 days have been absolute murder sprees. Continued the killings, I attacked my pig villagers. I had to call them a ambulance and they had to get some ointment for the pain. They didn't really enjoy my ambush. Okay, I'll stop with the puns. Went to the local village and stole all of their beds. I would need these beds for the construction of an iron farm. I also borrowed some bookshelves and stole a lectern. I took all the hay I had missed in previous episodes and I called it a day. I begin day 79 by looking for an area that would I build my iron farm. It had to be over 50 blocks away from my village so I wouldn't interfere with it. I also wanted a constant supply of iron so I didn't want to be too far away from my base. I decided I wanted to build it in a nearby swamp biome. I built it up in the sky 50 blocks up. I started off by making a holding cell for the zombie which I needed to get. I built it out of half slab so nothing could spawn on top of him. I also started on the villager holding cell. I placed 3 beds facing down towards the zombie. If they were facing a different way, the spawner probably wouldn't work. I then continued to build a second villager cell. It was quickly starting to become all together. To get a zombie into the chamber, I had to build a path from the ground all the way up and I led him up. This took most of day 80 to do so. When the night arrived, I luckily found a zombie right away. He was holding a sword so he wouldn't despawn. He didn't fall for the old trapdoor trick, so I pickaxed him into his new home. I ended up getting 2 zombies for some reason. I don't know how 2 of them ended up in there. It was now time to get 4 villagers. I needed to get them into their cells. This is honestly the most frustrating thing I've ever done in Minecraft. So I made a mine track all the way from my villager breeder to the iron farm. This used up most of my iron. This probably took over 3 days in Minecraft to do so. The villagers kept running away from me and they kept taking damage in so many ways and kept dying. On the morning of day 81, I finally got my first villager into the spawner, and I also quickly finally got my second villager in. I didn't have 2 other adult villagers, so I had to go AFK for a short while by the spawner. I spent the rest of the day transporting them to their cells. If anyone knows of any easier ways of transporting villagers, please let me know, as this was so annoying. On the morning of day 84, my iron farm was already functional, but to my disappointment, the iron farm had killed my zombies. This was so annoying. I cannot tell you how frustrating this made me. And one of my villagers had also escaped too. To make things worse, when I was trying to get my villagers out of the minecarts, I accidentally killed one with my diamond sword. I was so tempted to rage quit at this stage, but I knew it would be worth it as 100 days wasn't so far away. I won't waste your time by transporting any more villagers, so I'm going to cut to day 86. Finally had everything back to the way it was on day 86. I had to remove all the spawning blocks for the iron golem, but one of them still managed to spawn. He was determined to kill my zombie again. I quickly took care of him. I decided to kill him straight away. Before I knew it, another one had already spawned, and he was determined to kill my zombie. I again quickly took care of him. I could already tell the farm was going to be so efficient, so whoever came up with the design deserves an award. On day 87, I began the construction of the killing chamber. I made it out of smooth stone and smooth stone slabs. It was a simple enough design that involved a water stream which would carry the newly spawned iron golems into a lava pit and collect their items in a hopper with a chest. I also decided to kill another iron golem that spawned on the ground below the farm. I honestly didn't know how strong these iron golems were. I decided to take one on and it took so many hits to kill him. I had a full diamond armor with protection on it and I was so close to dying. He got me down to half a heart when he threw me up in the air. He also broke my helmet. I finally decided to enchant a power 2 bow. I didn't have 30 levels, so I just decided to get power 2 and I kept my distance for the rest of them and I had no problems quickscoping them. It still took 7 or 8 arrows to kill him, which was actually insane. For easier access to the farm in the future, I decided to build up a stone wall and put some ladders on it. To take a break from the building, I went on a long exploration on day 90. I hopped on a boat and I just set off. I quickly found an ice biome. I didn't realise there was one so close to my base. I used my Fishlify shovel and dug up a whole load of sand also, as I needed loads of glass for a future project. While swimming on the boat, I found an abandoned nether portal on the ocean floor. The chest had such good loot. I quickly swam up before I drowned. I then found another nether portal straight away. This time it was on the surface. I found my first golden apple of the series and I got a diamond axe too. I found the third ocean monument under the ocean floor. This is the most I'd ever found in the Minecraft world. I ended the day by collecting some mushroom blocks and fighting a baby zombie. I thought I was lost in day 91, but I arrived back home safe and sound. I used my dock for the first time in the series. I also used my automatic smelter again from the sand I collected and I made lots of glass. The smelter was honestly a lifesaver. All you had to do was put the items I wanted to smelt in the chop chest and they would come out the bottom chest. This was so nice. I accidentally put my ex-girlfriend in the chest too. I didn't need a rail system anymore, so I took it apart. I also collected my bamboo for the first time for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Sure, but at least it was satisfying to hear. On days 92 and 93, I used all the glass I found and I began the construction of a secret project. I almost died so many times making it, but it was so cool. I would show you now, but you'll have to wait till 100 days to see it. You might see it in the background of the next few clips to be honest, so comment if you do. I wanted to prepare my base for day 100, so I spent a lot of the time making it look really appealing. I built some armor stands and placed them all over my base. I made one with gold armor near my nether portal as well, so that way I won't forget to put gold armor on in the future and I won't get attacked by piglins. I had no gold pants whatsoever, so I put chain pants on it instead. I had some raw steak for breakfast on the morning of day 94. I was on a carnivore diet and didn't want to eat anything else. I put another armor stand outside my house and I put some random bits of armor on it I collected in the past. I hadn't much time the last few days to look after my dogs, so I decided to feed them and breed them. I added some lava and magma blocks for decoration to my nether room. I also boned the ground once again and I put a small path towards my storage room. I ran out of bone meal, so I used the shears to collect stacks upon stacks of grass. I also stole a flower bed from the village which I would use for decoration in my own base. I found lots of flowers. I worked late into the night and I added all of these to my base. I planted a few jack-o'-lanterns also. I don't know why, but just for some reason. My villager breeder looked bare, so I also added some grass below it. Lighting of my base really wasn't the best and it was full of torches scattered all over the ground, so I added some light posts to help make it look better. These were also inspired by the village where I took the flower pot from. I planted around 5 or 6 of these. I also planted some oak trees. I'm not gonna lie, these past few days have been very boring, but it'll be all worth it in day 100, I promise. I also finished the day by doing a bit more terraforming. I wanted to build a really nice enchantment room, so I decided to build one below my house near my nether port. When I decided to start building down there, I heard a lot of banging coming from the door. It was a baby hogling. He must have came through the port. He was so cute, but I didn't want to hurt him. Just kidding, so I brutally murdered him. I spent the next 3 days digging out and decorating my nether enchantment. I was so happy with how the build turned out. I used different types of stone, slabs and stairs to decorate the room. I also finished off the build with a bunch of vines that I found in the local swamp. Instead of ladders, I also used the vines to get in and out of the room too. I found a pile of clay randomly, so I decided to dig it out as I haven't had any clay so far in the series. I finished off the nether enchantment room by placing mushrooms all over the floor. Just sunset one last time, and I even turned up my graphics to make it look a lot better. I finally went to sleep in my bed for the last time. It was finally day 100. For the special day, I decided to download a high resolution texture pack. The secret I'd been keeping for you all along was I decided to craft a sky rail all around my base. We rode the sky rail for the last time and the first time, and we went all around my base. It looks so beautiful. We'd accomplished so much so far in the series, and I feel like I've built so much more than any other YouTuber in my 100 days, and this was only the beginning. I'd like to thank anyone who's watched it so far in the series, and if you get to this stage in the video, please leave a comment saying Skyrail. We've just hit 100 subscribers and we're growing so fast, so I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers and 100 likes by the end of February. I'm also a brand new YouTuber and I took so long making this video. I enjoyed every second of it. It took me about 200 hours to make and I'd appreciate any bit of support you can please show me. It'll be kinda sad to see the series come to an end, but you never know. I might end up doing 200 days.